This is gonna probably be a longer one. A full review is always going to be a little bit longer. This is going to be for people who want to know about small compact tractors. What I would say is, regardless of the brand, I have a Mahindra just because it was the one that was the best deal. That happened to be, some guy was selling one and it was a phenomenal offer. It was a phenomenal price. The guy thought he must have thought he knew how to take care of a tractor, but he didn't. And I got it. There's a few things I had to do. I had to fixes, and nothing I couldn't handle. But this little thing has done a lot of work around the homestead, and I would highly recommend, if you got a small farm, small homestead, little acreage, go ahead and get you a compact tractor, whichever one is out there, and just enjoy it. It took me a while to get to this point to do this review. I've been wanting to do a 1-year review of owning this tractor for a year. And there's been a lot of things that have gotten in the way of it. Look at that. So I'm gonna try and go through a detail, but I want to keep it, I don't want to go too long. I mean, I already got a lot of video that I'm gonna put in this interview. I got a lot of video that I'm gonna put into this review, but I'm gonna tell y'all some things that I have found on this tractor that I dislike and that I do like. Oh, I wanted to keep that. I gotta get on it. So I just I had to start it back up and put the box down because I wanted to show something. I like the tractor, and the deal I got it for, you can't beat a deal like that. I paid $6,000 for the tractor with the bush hog and the loader on it, and then I got a tiller. If you go back and you can see my videos with the tiller, I got a tiller for $800. You can't beat that price. The tiller is the best price. I mean, that's usually a $2,200 tiller, and I got it brand new for $800 because this guy was going out of business. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and give a little run through about what you're gonna hear a lot about what I don't like, because that's what people cue in on, what they don't like. But there's a lot of stuff about this tractor that I do like. It's a workhorse. This thing gets stuff done that I wouldn't be able to do if I don't have it, of course. That's to go without saying. And when around this yard, this bush hog is more than enough to cut everything I want to cut. And I started cutting with a push mower around the yard right here around the house, and I'm gonna let the other parts of my property kind of go up into woods. I want it to get woodsier. I don't like the fact that people can drive on the road and see back in my place. But okay, I'm gonna start from the front to the back and show you what I have had problems with. And there's gonna be things that I talk to you about. This video, I have filmed so many things out of sequence. If stuff doesn't flow together well, please forgive me. It's a review, and I've been kind of documenting for a year about what I like. Go ahead and let's look at what some of the things that this thing does that I really like. I mean, we have a year of things that it did that I really like. the bush hog on, and I don't feel like taking it off, and I need to move something. So what I got here is I got a carriage bolt. They got some holes right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that through there. Just gonna use that to just maneuver it around, see? It's hard to do with a camera, my hand. Would be going a little bit faster, but I got a camera in my hand. So anyway, this tractor is the reason I use this trailer. So I'm gonna use the tractor to put the trailer out of the way somewhere. Symmetry. Planted that 2 years ago, looks beautiful. It is really soft. down there, so a lot of water. We got to cut it this year because we had a drought, so we didn't get a chance to plant it. So I might be able to, right up over there is a high spot, and on the other side is a high spot, but in the middle is a bowl. So things that went wrong with this thing right here, if you watch the welding video, you can tell that this cracked right here. Now I have since talked to a couple people. I've communicated with a couple people, not talked, to be of YouTube. There's this cracking too. This cracks right here. A lot of people are showing this on the single arm, the single hydraulic arm on here. The newer ones have double hydraulic arms and they fixed that. But the older people like me that got this older one, you know, you better have a welder, because this cracks. And the crack, you can see, comes down into there. I'm gonna have to weld this again. I know my dad, he watched my old video, he done got on my butt and said, boy, you didn't do it right. You got to grind that crack out. And I do know that. I burn up a grinding wheel trying to grind that crack out, and I got tired. So that's my laziness. I figured I'd just put a bead on it. It got me through what I needed, and now I'm going to patch it again. The next weld I do, I'm going to grind this thing out deep and grind that crack out. Now, this plate, you can see how this plate is welded on here. They knew that was going to happen. Whoever did this knew this was going to happen, because they made a reinforcement plate for this arm. But if you see right there, there's a little bit of a crack coming through, but that's on a separate piece of metal. This is a piece of metal, and that's a piece of metal. So the crack is not really, it's going through a little bit. So I'm gonna really get after this. I am gonna really fix this problem, and it's gonna be fixed with that little welder I have. So that's one problem. Everybody else knows that, look, they don't put, that's the brush guard, this bar and this bar. That doesn't guard any brush. Look, I didn't have this thing for a couple weeks, and I put a branch through the plastic grill. Are you kidding me? Who puts that on there? Anyway, I'm gonna reinforce this brush guard with some grating, and I'm gonna weld it on there and make it look right. I already got it picked out. I should have done that already, but there's just so many things I can do. Only so many things I can do. Yeah. Now, one of the biggest, hugest problems with this model, I'm pretty sure this is a 2015. Let me tell you something. I called the dealership that sold this to the guy who bought it from me, gave him the serial number, and them jokers still scratching their head. When you talk to him on the phone, the parts guy just doesn't seem like he knows what he's doing. I asked him if he was shipping a part from, you know, Santa's workshop, because it cost so much to ship. Anyway, and it took so long to make, I thought the little elves were making it. Anyway, they're designed for this muffler. The muffler connects to the motor. Okay, everybody knows that. And then they anchor it to the frame right here. These dead on, that's the name of that's who makes the motor on these, from I think South Korea. Vibrate at idle so much that they'll shake apart. You cannot let these idle at the idle speed. You gotta give it a little gas, and that's fine. It'll work. It's okay. An engine can handle that. Diesels especially can handle a little bit more higher horsepower, higher RPMs, and that'll be fine. But if you let them idle, it'll rattle. And you see how I repaired that right there? People might laugh. You call that repaired? it's on there. I mean, it's been hot. Ow. Woo, hot, hot, hot. It's on there. And I used that reinforcement steel wire and I anchored it. Basically, I did what the fix is. They got a brand new muffler there where they put bracing all up on there. They braced the heck out of it. They just welded a bunch of more metal to it. And I did the same thing with my welder and some binding steel wire. Some wire for binding wire, for tying. And I just did it myself. And it works. So, and I can get by with that. That's fine too. That's a problem I can live with. My instrument panel went out on me for just the RPMs. Y'all have seen that. I got that documented. I might even show some of that right now where I documented in the past where this didn't work. Now, another aggravating thing is this RPM gauge. The RPMs is stuck. It is stuck on about 9,000 RPMs. You cannot get it off. Tractor's off. Right? Tractor's off right now. Should be registered in 0. Anyway, you might see some video of me today working on that. One thing I know is someone worked on this before, because the 4 screws holding it in, the 3 look like that, and then this one looks like this. And they have a number written underneath there. Like someone wrote a number for some mysterious reason on this instrument cluster. So, why would they have done that? So let's take a peek inside here if I can. What I'm going to do is just put some of this electrical spray in there. Hopefully that'll help it. I don't know. It's just electrical cleaner. Because other than that, it's buy a new instrument panel. And this is about $300. I cleaned it. I took all the instrument panel off. I took the instrument cluster off. Cleaned it out. Cleaned all the PC board and everything on there. They had a rat's nest in there. They had the mud dauber's nest. Watch this. RPMs come on. That. Let's see. Alright, that's idle. polished as bad, but I got it at least working a little bit right. It drops down, it goes down to 0. And I start it up. That's where the idle is supposed to be. And I got it working again. It ain't working right. But it does work. Once it gets above a certain RPMs, it works right in this range. And that's the PTO range. It's fine with me. But they had a rat's nest. The rat's nest, you see that ball of fuzz over there? Look. This was in there. This came with the tractor. Someone sent me a little rat's nest in there, and they had mud dauber's nests all up in there. And I could tell someone worked on it before, because that thing must have been giving them problems. But I went and cleaned all the connections, and I cleaned up the PC board, got it working again. To tell you the truth, I knew what the RPM should have sounded like by the sound of the motor, and I wrote a line on here with the acceleration, the hand acceleration handbar, and you can accelerate with the foot right there or with the hand right here, and this will let it set in at the RPMs. It'll stay if you use that handbar right there, and that's fine enough for me. I know if you off a little bit on the RPMs, a little bit then on your PTO, or up or down, it's okay. You're all right. So let's get to the back. I'm going to show y'all a few clips about what that lower link pin. Oh, and it broke. I got to put another piece. This shaft right here spun out from there. It came out. One day I hear this whoop, whoop, whoop. You can kind of see how it was rubbing on the inside. This came out all the way and started rubbing on the inside of the rim. And I was like, what the heck? When I tapped it back in, or the hardest, this is a pain in the neck to do. But you can see that gets a lot of pressure put on it. So I'm gonna have to, I had put a wire on there to hold it in place so it didn't tap, so it didn't come out, but I'm gonna have to put another piece of wire. Good thing I'm doing this review. I got a few things I got to do. So but the other side, if you see on this, you don't see nothing right there, but on the other side on that shaft, they got that bolt that goes through and holds it on, huh? At that, and that looks cracked to me. That is cracked. Boy, I tell you what, I'm learning a lot right now. I just found that's cracked. I'm gonna have to replace that. However that's gonna be fun. But I'm glad I found it, because I gotta deal with that right now. Right now. Alright. Anyway, my review's over for right now. I got stuff I got to do. So I'll get back onto this later. Okay. One of the problems I have with it is you can see one of the lift arms on the back is off. One of the lower links is off from the 3-point hitch, and it's this one, and it's out of commission, because if you see, you can kind of see where I kind of jerry-rigged it. I didn't know what was really the problem, but here's the problem. This is the other side. This is called a lower link pin. And what it does is it goes all the way through there, through that little shaft hole, through that little sleeve, out the other side, and this would come in and tie into that, like that, and go all the way through. Well, originally, you can see, dang hornet, they got a hole through there. I thought it was something the guy who had this must have did himself before me, but this is actually Mahindra's doing. They drilled a hole through there to stop it, which seriously compromised the strength of this link pin. And it goes all the way through, and it cracked. And I noticed it when I was about to do a review on this tractor before. I might show y'all a little part where all of a sudden I realized, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I was doing a review and I was like, uh-oh, there's a problem here. Anyway, I got the part in for that, and I'm about to put it on now. And this is the replacement. Now, this in itself was a downright nightmare to order that part. And let me tell you, this part, the retail value of it is like $79, $78, but they're gonna hit you with taxes and shipping because no one has it in. The parts place at the store doesn't have it in. And I was like, can y'all just ship it to my house? The guy says, yeah. I wanted to give the local tractor supply place, not tractor supply store, the tractor dealership that deals with Mahindras, my business, so I can maybe start to form a rapport with them, because I have 2 Mahindra tractors. And I told y'all the story about that before. It's not because I fell in love with a Mahindra tractor, or my family. My dad bought the first one and this is mine. It's just the ones that were affordable at the time when we bought. This was a second-hand one, and I got a spectacular deal. I hope it was a spectacular deal. It's still running. It served me well for a year. But I'm starting to have a little problem seeing it. I think replacing this will be fine. You see, it doesn't have that hole in it. So, big difference there. So what you might be asking is why I took the tie off to do this, because Mahindra must have a bunch of geniuses as engineers. First off, to make a part designed so poorly. Second off, to not only make that part designed so poorly, but in order to remove it, you have to remove the tire to remove it all the way. And I see a washer that's in between there. I gotta see if I got the other one that's in between the link arm and the sway chain. Yeah, it's so far. So, there we go. Old piece of junk there. So the new one, it's gonna be kind of hard for me to. Bolt. Link on the bolt. The link. Slide that on through there. Might have to loosen that up a little bit. you like me now? Came through. Alright. Alright. So I got the pin in, and this time I'm going to put pins on. I got that link pin in. I'm going to put these pin clips on each side of it. So 3-point hitch is back. Just gotta get that tie on, which is gonna be yeehaw and fun. But something I didn't know, that guy who had this before me, he filled those tires up with water. So now I understand why this thing don't get stuck as much. All right. You can see that's a brand new pin in there. More, whoever designed that needs to be, they need to be taken out back and given a good flogging. Whoever decided to put a hole through that pin, I don't know. I'm not even gonna, I mean, I don't know what the words to use. So whatever. Okay. Implements for this, Mahindra implements, that, you know, that's just, I'm pretty sure that's bush hog strong. I mean, bush hog is good stuff. I'm pretty sure that's the same thing. That's a great bush hog cutter, brush hog, whatever people want to call it. But and it goes on really easy. It's easy to put this on. I have another tractor. It's called a Mahindra 2810, and to get that bush hog on there, this is a 4-foot bush hog. The one we got at the camp is a 6-foot bush hog. It has one of those sleeves that you got to retract the sleeve and put it on. Pain in the butt. You can't. I've done it by myself, but it is. You want to go drink beer for the rest of the day after you put that on, and you don't want to do any work. This one slips on, that button, slip it on, slip it off, easy peasy, just real quick, on and off, no problem. As far as a workhorse, this thing is a workhorse. I got the bigger model. I tell you, I got the bigger model. This one I found out today because I was changing that pin in. The guy's got water in the tires. I didn't know he had water for ballast in the tire, but he does. So that's a good thing. It doesn't get stuck. I was amazed. The one at our camp, the tires, it's a big tractor. Even though it's only 5 horsepower bit, the tire, everything is much bigger. It's a higher riding tractor. It's a much bigger tractor. If I got some video of it, I'll show some. But it doesn't have any water in the tires, and I think that might be the problem, because it gets stuck in, it gets stuck on dew ground. If dew is on the ground, it gets stuck. It's just crazy. This one goes through swamp like you can't believe. But also, the thing about it is, we have a bucket on this one. We don't have a bucket on the one at the camp. You do get stuck with this, you pull yourself out, no problem. A bucket makes it much easier to get yourself out of stuck situation than if you don't have it, obviously. So anyway, I don't know what else to go over with this. It does all of the stuff in this 6-acre, a little under 6-acre homestead out here. It does all the chores I needed to do and more. And we have 40 acres up north, and I can tell you this, I would get on this tractor before I get on the big one, because of the bucket and because of the maneuverability inside of small areas. It really makes getting up and down slopes easier. Clearing brush easier in tight areas. The big tractor, yeah, it goes, like when I'm it's a cutter. And when I'm disking, oh my gosh, with the disc, the big tractor, we disked this past weekend because I couldn't use this tractor with the tiller, and it just disked like you can't believe. It was beautiful. So, and I'm sure this one can pull those discs just fine, but the big one with the more horsepower has an application, but this one really shines on a lot of things. I like this tractor. The things that I've said that I had wrong, that pin breaking, but now I got it working again. I hear a couple of tinks and ticks in it that I don't like, but that's mechanics. That's a farm tool. That's a farm instrument. You're gonna hear stuff like that from time to time. Anyway, this is what, if I'm gonna leave y'all with a final thought on this. Compact tractors. There's a lot of homesteaders that are starting to pop up. A lot of people wanting to be homesteaders. I've been around tractors for many years. I've been using them for a long time, so I know a little bit about them. If you're gonna have acreage enough to do a homestead, compact tractors are awesome. Whether or not you buy a Mahindra, a John Deere, a Coyote, or a Kubota, or a New Holland, or whoever else is making tractors out there. I don't even know all the names, but I think Bobcat's even making a new compact tractor. Whatever you do, you're gonna need one if you're a homesteader. Go ahead and get you one. Learn a little bit of mechanics. Learn YouTube and learn how to weld a little bit, because you're gonna have to weld on these things. Pieces break. I mean, I might even be able to put back together a part. I could have maybe welded that part and got it back together in functioning gear to do something. But you're gonna have to learn how to do basic maintenance, changing oil. What hydraulic fluid? You need hydraulic and transmission fluid for certain tractors. Certain tractors just take hydraulic fluid and transmission oil and motor oil. You got to learn what kind of oils you want. You got to learn what kind of oil filters you're going to get. You got to do a lot of maintenance on this. If you're a homesteader or a prepper and you're relying on your dealership to do your maintenance on here, well, you just ain't really a prepper. You just ain't really a homesteader. You want to be, and I'm not trying to say this to be wrong, but you got to learn how to fix at least minor problems. A catastrophic failure, I can understand. I mean, if a clutch goes bad on you, you should maybe be able to know how to fix that. I don't really have the time to fix major catastrophic failures. And then sometimes failures are just beyond repair. You got to get a new instrument, a new machine. But you should be able to know how to work the basics on a machine like this. At least basic maintenance, basic operation, basic fit, how to fix things. And you'll be okay. You'll be able to make it last for a while. And take care of your products. Take care of your instruments, your tools. If you don't take care of your tools, now that's on you. And I'm talking a lot more than I need to, so I'm gonna end that here. I hope y'all enjoyed. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.